Hey, what's up, naughty community? Welcome back to my naughty hobby with Amber for another crochet tutorial. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a crocheter for about 15 years now, part of the Crocheters Guild of America. I am a crochet designer and also a teacher. One of my very favoriteest things is teaching others, and so if you never want to miss a tutorial or pattern release from me, please sign up for my newsletter over at my website, www.mynaughtyhobby.com, and get signed up for that. That'll be the best place to find out about flash giveaways and new designs that I'm going to be releasing that you might not want to miss out on. I won't ever spam you or send you a bunch of junk mail that you don't want. It's all going to be good stuff. But for today, I'm going to be showing you how to do another version of the shell stitch using, as you might have guessed, very simple and easy to do stitches. The double crochet, this is what the front of our work looks like, and then the back of those shells looks like this, a little more bumpier, but both sides equally as beautiful. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some lightweight number 3 yarn for this tutorial. You can use whatever size hook and yarn that you have available to you though. So to get this shell combo to work out correctly, we are going to have to do a chain with a multiple of 6 plus 1. So that's how many you will need in your foundation row. Let's go ahead and start by chaining 26. Five and 6. Now on our second chain from our hook, let's get just a little closer there. In our second chain from our hook and in each chain across, we're going to create our foundation row and place 1 single crochet. You should have a total of 25 stitches at the end of your chain. Almost to the end here. All right, now we will start on the first official, what will be like our sequence. We're going to go ahead and chain 4, and turn our work. Now into that same stitch where our chain came off of, remember that counts as a stitch, we're going to place 1 double crochet. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip the next 5 stitches. So skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go into the 6th one, and we're going to place a V-stitch, which is a double crochet. Hope I was hooked on there. A double crochet with 2 chains, and then another double crochet in that same stitch. You've created a V-stitch. We're going to chain 2, skip 5 again, and then do another V-stitch into that 6th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 6th here. We've had some really terrible wind. I don't know if you can hear that noise coming through. Chain 2. Again, you're going to skip 5 and do another V-stitch into that 6th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Chain 2, and then another double crochet into that same stitch to complete your V-stitch. Chain 2, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into your very last stitch you're going to do a V-stitch, but instead of 2 chains you'll only do 1. So double crochet, 1 chain, another double crochet. So your very first row, your beginning and end should look the same, have the same amount of stitches between each, and 3 of the V's if you're following along with me. Now we're going to chain up 3, and turn our work. Now into the chain 1 space here, we're going to place 3 double crochet. Keeping in mind that our chain does count as a stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to skip over all of this space, and into those V's that we created, you're going to place 7 double crochets. There's 5, 6, and 7 right here. Skip this space again, and we're going to do those 7 double crochets into each of our V stitches. Okay, we've come up to the end. Now into our last space here, we're going to put 4 double crochets. You could also work these into the top of your chain, but I think that they match up better with the rest of the stitches when you just do them in that chain space. So that's how your third row should be looking. Now we're going to chain up 4. And turn our work. We're going to place 1 double crochet in our very first stitch. Going to chain 2 and do more of those V stitches. So we're going to skip 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go into this one here to place your next V stitch, which is a double crochet, 2 chains, and then another double crochet into that same spot. As we've been working a lot of shells lately, I just want to point out that that's why we do an odd number with the shells. We did 7 here, and so that was so we could work into the middle piece. If you look at that shell, even from the right side of our work, it's even. It's going right down the middle there. So if you're better visually than counting the stitches that you need to skip, when you look, those V stitches should always go into the top of your work, which I can see it pretty easily here. But you may still need to count out your stitches to skip, and that's okay too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would highly suggest, if you are a beginner, to count your stitches. It'll save you a lot of frustration, but eventually you'll get to a point where you're able to recognize by sight and visually how a pattern works up. So chain 2, skipping 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and working into this one here. Another V stitch. Chaining 2, and in our last one, in your last stitch or the top of the chain, it's not a big deal if you just work into like under this space here, but if you want a little bit of a neater edge, then I would suggest finding your top chain, which is here, giving me some grief. And I'm going to work my last V stitch, but I'm only going to do one chain with it. Same and same. Make sure that your beginning matches your end. Now we're just going to go back to row, what would have been considered row 3, which is chaining up 3, and placing 3 double crochet, sorry about that, 3 double crochet into our chain 1 spot. Now work 7 double crochet into those V stitches. So if you just keep in mind that in this just 2-row pattern combo, 1 row you'll be creating the spaces for your shells, and then the next row you'll actually be creating them. 1 more there. And wherever you're creating the spaces for the shells to go, you'll know that those are a V stitch. Then into this space, the last one, you want it to match the first, so we're going to place 4 double crochets. Since we just got done with our shells, I know that if I wanted to continue this on, I would turn my work and start creating those V stitches, which you can go back and check out the beginning of this video. I like to keep it around 20 minutes long for these tutorials. Thanks for watching today. If you found this tutorial helpful and something you'll come back to reference, please leave me a comment and let me know. I love to hear from you guys. And also, one of my friends one of my naughty followers, Rachel's son, she was telling me today that her and her son always watch my tutorials before he naps. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Caleb and say that I hope you have a wonderful nap, little buddy, and happy hooking, guys. I hope to see and talk to you all real soon. Bye.